Catawba Coaches Show. Just wanted to give you a 2-minute warning. We'll be getting underway with the Coaches Show in 2 minutes. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special homecoming edition of the Catawba Football Coaches Show right here on Memories Radio. As usual, I'm joined by Coach Tyler Haynes. We'll have some special guests, a few players, and a few dignitaries along the way as well. But, Coach, as usual, we got to give a few shout-outs before we get underway. First of all, I want to give two quick shout-outs. I want to give one shout-out to Mr. Albert Rush, who's here in attendance. He leads the morale there at Goodman Arena on the Catawba campus. Glad to have him here, and glad to have Dave Van Aken here as well. He's usually out there at the golf course getting ready for the pig roast on Friday morning, but a little change in the schedule this year, so he gets to join us here at the Coaches Show. Glad to have you here with us, Dave. And again, thanks to City Tavern for hosting the show. And Coach, you have a few to give out as well.
Yeah, some very important thank yous. Thank you to President Nelson and his family. Thank you to the Graham family for sponsoring this show. Thank you to our athletic director, Michelle Cadigan, our entire athletic department. Thank you to the Dees family, Maddox, and everyone that has set this show up. I want to thank my wife and my two oldest daughters for being here. My youngest, Holland, is not here. She's at gymnastics, but thank you for being here. I want to thank my mom, Mickey Haynes, who's sitting in the front row, drove all the way down from Ohio to be here with us this weekend. Most importantly, I want to thank the friends and families of our program. Continue to support us. Give back to our program and other programs within the athletic department or Catawba College as a whole. We just want to say thank you so much for everything that you do, whether it's the Day of Giving or sponsoring the show and everything you do for Catawba. But there is that opportunity on YouTube, and I just want to thank you for that. Looking forward to Homecoming 2024. Let's go, CAU.
All right, Coach, let's talk about last week's game, another overtime thriller against the Limestone Saints. And again, we can talk about it one play. If we can just have one play go the other way, it's a different story. You put one in the W column, but how frustrating is it for you to be that close and not get the win?
Frustrating at the time, but very grateful and humble and proud of our guys. You know, that's a playoff team. That's a top 25 team full of seniors. And we want the win. We're not apologizing for anything. We were there to win. We should have won. We had our opportunities to win. We didn't do it. But to come down, 14-0 early in that game, another team might have folded. Whether it's a Catawba team, any team, I'm proud of how we fought back, got in that game, and should have won that game. We scared the bejesus out of them. That's not why we do it, but we did that, and we're going to continue to build, and we're going to continue to teach our guys how to finish games. Coulda, woulda, shoulda been a 5-1 program as we sit here right now, but we're on to Newberry.
You say coming back from 14-0. I noticed on the sidelines and on the field there was no panic, there was no frustration. Everybody just went about their business and got right back in the ball game and nearly got that win. Does that happen through the week and through the month in practice, or is that something you had to gather the team and talk to them in that moment?
Well, I think it stems all the way down from Catawba is a special place. The athletic department is special. I have a great coaching staff that has won multiple different places, and we're in the process of building something special here. It doesn't happen overnight, but when you're around winners and you have guys that are used to winning, when you get knocked down, you don't get frustrated. You stay the course. You keep swinging away, and that game's not over till the final, in that case, 2 overtimes. So there's never going to be panic by us. There's going to be addressing the situation, getting better, and finding ways to win. That's who we are.
Now, 2 things we talked about last week, making Dustin Noller uncomfortable back there. Your team accomplished that. And then you needed to keep the ball away from their offense. You certainly accomplished that. You had a 7-play drive that took 4 minutes for your first touchdown. In the second quarter, a pair of field goal drives, 13 plays, 60 yards, almost 6 minutes. 14 plays, 49 yards, almost 4 minutes. Later in the fourth quarter, a drive that went from your 3-yard line down inside their 10, inside their 5, I believe. Then your touchdown run to go ahead, 17 plays, 90 yards, took 9 minutes and 7 seconds off the clock. That just speaks to the dominance of that offensive line.
Yeah. It speaks to the offensive line, the running backs, the tight ends, all those guys. And it also speaks to our coaching staff that things have happened this season that we cannot control. And we know how we need to play in order to win. And I think you're seeing an example of that, of maybe we need to slow it down a little bit, still be very aggressive and still put points on the board, keep our defense off the field a little bit more. So that's what that is, and that's credit to our coaching staff, especially on the offensive side. Coach Sofchek, Brian Collins, Coach Dupree, Braden Thompson. Those guys put a great game plan together, put up 512 yards up with some backups against a playoff team. Proud of those guys.
Now, you're talking about those young players. You have Hunter Shepard, a redshirt freshman at quarterback. You have some young wide receivers stepping up. Amari MacArthur got his first touchdown catch. You have Mike Jeter and Nick Wiles-Lawing, a couple of new players to the program. Jalen Davis stepping up at tight end. Those guys have had to step in, but they're prepared and ready, aren't they?
Yeah, it goes back to summer. We've been working hard all summer. Again, I keep speaking about our coaching staff, but every single guy you just mentioned right there did not play for us last fall. Every single one of them. That's their first time stepping on a football field. So you see what the product is currently. You see what it's going to be. That's what's so exciting about it, because they're all in. We just got to get over that hump of finding ways to win at the end of the game.
And, Coach, a lot of fans look at the overall record. They see that you lost. Your conference record's not where you want it to be. But as a coaching staff and players, you guys tune all that out. That means nothing to you guys, because you have a football game to play every week. And as competitors, and knowing that you have to put it all on the line out there every week, you're just focused on the upcoming game and ready to go. So everybody should be proud of that, and knowing that your team's ready to go and going to give a great effort every week.
We talk about lessons learned. Whether you win or you're never losing, you're winning or you're learning. And even when you're winning, you're learning. So we're trying to improve at every aspect of what we're doing. We have 3 goals that will never, ever change in our program. Number 1 is to graduate with over a 3.0 GPA so you can get into grad school, get the job you want, the internship. We have guys that strive for 4.0 is great, but our number 1 goal is to graduate with over a 3.0. Number 2 is to win a SAC conference championship. We're not there currently, but we're striving. We're going in the right direction. And number 3, to win a national champion at the Division II level. It can be done at Catawba. We talk about it all the time. The record's not where it needs to be, but it's coming. Trust me, it's coming.
We can see it out there on the field. It's certainly coming. So let's get a couple of your key players up there, the unit that's been probably playing the best of everyone overall so far this season, the offensive line. So let's get a couple of these offensive linemen up here this week. We had a couple last week, and we got a couple more. Certainly they deserve the accolades because they've been knocking people off the ball. L.J. Turner, the leading rusher in the conference, he gets all those yards because of these guys plowing the way up front. L.J. goes 3 and 4 yards before they even touch him. So we're joined tonight by center Canyon James. He's a senior out of Orange Park, Florida. And on the far left, Zach Brown. He's from Ashburn, Georgia. He's just a junior. And Canyon, we heard a lot of talk last week from the guys. You're the captain of that offensive line. You're making the calls out there. Is that a lot of pressure for you as the center to recognize the defense and make those calls?
I mean, it would be, but Coach Collins, Coach Sofchek, they give us a great game plan every week, so it makes that job real easy, find out who's coming where. So that job's real easy. I mean, it can get complicated at times because teams try to do something different to stop what we're doing, but it's pretty easy to diagnose this with the game plan they give us.
Now, you've been a mainstay on that offensive line since the COVID season. Have you seen everything defenses can show you out there so it keeps you composed? You've seen it all before?
Yes, sir. I mean, playing since 2020, playing every game, you get to see what every defense wants to do, and playing in a different system, you get to see, what do they want to do to this, what do they want to do to that. So I've seen everything someone can throw at us, and even when they try to throw something new, it's kind of just back in that memory bank, and you're like, oh, I've seen this before.
Now, are some games easier than others because the defenses are easier for you to identify?
Oh, 100%. Some teams are going to live and die by the same thing over and over and over again, and it's just they think their front six or whatever, like last week, was better than our front five, and then they found out the hard way that that's not the way it works.
Now, Canyon, as the center position, a lot of shotgun snaps, and you have to focus getting that snap back to the quarterback, but the teams line up on top of you trying to hit you a little bit extra and wear you out as the game goes on in that situation?
Sometimes, but funny thing enough, I'm left-handed, so most people aren't used to seeing that. So they try and, they if they do line up head up, they go to the right a lot, so it helps me out. So they try, but they're not really used to seeing someone that's as unorthodox, snapping with their left hand.
Are you naturally left-handed, or you worked on that so you'd fool the defense?
No, I'm naturally left-handed. If I was to snap with my right hand, I would be fired. So.
Now, Zach, as a guard on the right side, are you always lined up on the right side, or you guys flip on occasion?
I'm always lined up on the right side.
Now, do you have to work in tandem a lot with Canyon at center, or do you work more in tandem with Dallas Ford, the right tackle?
I'd say it's about even. We have a lot of combination blocks. But it's about even.
Now, one thing I've noticed this year, last year your helmet was always flying off. You're always in some skirmishes up front. You're a little calmer this year out there. You got a better helmet fit, I guess. And what have you done to work on keeping your composure a little bit better out there?
Me and Coach Collins, Coach Haynes had a couple of talks. So y'all don't have to worry about that no more. But yeah, just kind of controlling the chaos, as we would say,
Okay, do you have to talk to him out there to calm him down a little bit?
It doesn't work that much, but yeah, I got to every now and then.
Now, how good does it make you feel when L.J. Turner's racking up all those yards and getting Player of the Week honors? Does he acknowledge you guys through the week that you're the biggest part of him gaining all those yards?
Oh, yeah, LJ let us know we're doing a great job, and it's kind of like he kind of gives me a little brother feeling, like I'm looking at a younger sibling to see, that's kind of the role offensive lineman got to play. Now, I want to see him shine.
Canyon, we talked about those shotgun snaps. Is that now second nature to you, or is it harder still to do the shotgun snap compared to quarterback under center?
It's kind of just second nature at this point. I mean, I've been doing it since the spring, so when Hunter got thrown in there, it was a little different, but now it's kind of just second nature, and we just go with it.
And Zach, are there still a lot of plays where you pull from a guard position, or is it mostly straight ahead blocking this year?
We the last couple of games we threw in a little bit of counter. We found success. I know we broke a big run during Anderson off of it, so we're getting a little counter in the mix now.
Okay, and one thing we heard Coach talk about academics. Canyon, what are you majoring in, and what are your plans for the future?
So I've already graduated. I'm in the master's program here at Catawba for exercise science, so that's one thing. I would love to go back into coaching. That would be like the one biggest thing, but if that wouldn't happen, I would love to do something like with physical therapy or something like that.
Well, I thought maybe coaching might be in your future with the way you lead that offensive line, and plenty of Catawba offensive linemen out there, successful high school coaches and in the college ranks as well. So that could be in your future, and I'm pretty sure you'd be a pretty good coach.
I sure hope it is.
And then, Zach, how about for you? What are you majoring in, and what do you hope to do in the future?
I'm a digital media production major and a minor in marketing, so I kind of want to combine those and join a marketing team, maybe get an executive role eventually, but in the marketing.
Okay, sounds like some good plans. Let's give it up for these guys, the offensive linemen, center Canyon James, and right guard Zach Brown, leading the way to get L.J. Turner all those accolades and leading the conference in rushing yards.
I just want to say thank you to the Graham family and all the sponsors for making this possible.
Now we're going to shift our focus for just a little bit, and we're going to bring up a member of the Catawba College Board of Trustees. Let's welcome Tom Denard, a member of the Catawba class of 1977, in to visit for the homecoming weekend. And Tom played basketball at Catawba for Coach Sam Moyer. I understand that, Tom, you also played some football as well, and been a success in the commercial and mortgage banking industry. Spent his last 19 years of his working career as the chairman and CEO of Grand Bridge Real Estate Capital, and a member of this, I mentioned, of the Board of Trustees. So, Tom, welcome to the Coaches Show this week. Glad to have you on board. And
Do I have to do this with? Yeah, I do.
yeah, we do. We do have to do that.
Sorry
do
about
it
that.
that way.
Hey, good evening. What an honor to be up here and following two fine members of our athletic department and the football team. Let's give them another hand on how great they conducted themselves. Not easy to be up here on the radio and streaming YouTube with friends and family watching. Great honor to be here, and I was asked to kind of bring forward a perspective from a former graduate and alumni, of course, and being on the Board of Trustees. I'm the lead chair of the Athletic Policy Committee. A lot of things have happened at this college, and they're all great. We've had soft spots like anybody does in a tradition of a school since 1851. But today, I think we're positioned to be one of the great Division II athletic programs with a very, very high academic standard. And I just want to recap real quick before I kind of shared a couple of thoughts directly in athletics about the progression that we've made in both in developing large donors to help us sustain. As everybody knows, that we've had a couple of major gifts on the support of both of our academic side and scholarship that ranks us among the very elite in North Carolina and in the country. Our facilities have been ignored quite a bit, and there's $60 million worth of facilities improvement that will be kicking off here in the next 30 to 60 days. New dorm, new social area in the smokestack area that was once an eyesore that we're going to make it a diamond versus the coal that it used to be. See the analogy? And the board is very excited about what's going on. And I was asked to talk a little bit about athletics, but that $60 million, our endowment being at the highest level on a per student basis of any school in North Carolina. And this has to do with leadership. What we're seeing happen in the football program is leadership. What's happening at Catawba College is leadership. In this community, embracing Catawba, to me, is the most important thing we can do. And we're getting that. We just need more. I now live in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm up here frequently. Our chair of our board's in Hickory. He gets to listen to all the LR crap all the time. And between LR, Wingate, Limestone, and all these other guys, we just want to beat their butts every time we play them. But even more so, this is not just about athletics. Athletics is what builds character. Any team sport, any club, anything that you do together where other people are relying upon you builds character. And between all areas of the college, that's what we're about. We want to build citizens that go out and be productive and work in teams. Now, we know people have to be in front of a screen. They have to program. But the machine really runs when you work together well as groups and you communicate. So I talked about the $60 million investment. We've been doing specific things in athletics, from donors sitting in this room, new turf on the football field, new turf on the baseball field. Phase 2 of the baseball field is in its last phase of fundraising. You know, we missed those old wooden stands, but they were either going to burn down or going to fall down. They had to come down, right? They had to go. So we're in the process of doing finish the fundraising on that. And now we got to deal with all the rest of our athletic fields down in the floodplain. We'll find a solution for that. Some minor things that we've done that are lipstick in the Abernathy Physical Education Center. I'd like to see renamed, Dr. Nelson, Abernathy Center. It's been, if you haven't seen the inside of it from the ground floor up, Everything's been renovated maybe as of this week, virtually on the ground floor with new spaces for our athletes to train and for their changing rooms. And then upstairs, the gym program was done about 5 or 6 years ago, and we're continuing to enhance the gym area with lights, speakers, new doors into the lobby. The lobby's going to get renovated over time. That will be a staged process. But the commitment to the college from both the college and the donors could never be any stronger. Coach Perrone, 2 back-to-back conference championships in tournament play. Let's give him a hand. Let's go. Our ladies basketball team speaks for itself. Both conference and regular season championships finished 4th in the country 3 years ago, right? Is it 3 seasons? Baseball, top 4 in the country. Our swimming program, number 1. They compete very well against very established programs, but I'm as proud as championships as I am All-Americans in academics. Number 1 in the country. This is Catawba College. This is your college. So we're extremely, extremely excited about what's going on at Catawba. We think this community has a lot more to give and support. So those out there streaming or listening on the radio, I challenge you to come out and see what's going on there. It's pretty special. And when our center campus gets revitalized with the update of what was an eyesore to a diamond, from coal to diamond, the new residence hall, which will be, there's a label for it, but it'll be the energy efficient facility that we stand for. And it's very important to us because when you add what's going on in athletics, what's going on in our business department, what's going on in health and human performance, and what's going on in musical theater, and what's going on in, I'll just go on and on and on. We want to be the model D2 athletic program and be of an academic standard that will be spoken of not just in Salisbury, not just in the region, not just in North Carolina, but nationwide. That's what I got.
All right, thank you very much. You pretty much summed up what Catawba College is all about. So he mentioned successful coach Rob Perrin with those 2 consecutive conference tournament championships. Let's get Coach Perrin and one of his players, Chris Robinson, up here to join us. As you mentioned, Coach Perrin now starting his 11th season, winning those 2 consecutive championship games. Last year, big comeback to win over Lincoln Memorial. He's been in the NCAA regionals 4 of the last 6 seasons. And Coach, we know the South Atlantic Conference is always a big challenge, and you lost 7 players to graduation. You've got 9 new players to join 9 returning guys. How are things going so far?
Pretty good. You always want to be ahead of the game, and I think our defense is ahead of our offense, but we take a lot of pride in winning with our defense and being the more physical team. And the great thing about defense is you can stop them from scoring, but you can also score with your defense. So I think our defense is maybe ahead of pace. I'll let Chris verify or deny that. But we had our first scrimmage last night that I can't really talk about, but we played well, and so we're just consistently trying to get 1-2% better every day.
Now you have to have some big guys inside. 2 guys
Right.
that are coming back, Justin Banks and Shad Thomas. You're looking for those guys to really break out with big years this year?
Yeah, and it's been great. They both played well and started some games last year. Justin Banks led the league in block shots coming off the bench. That doesn't happen very often. Lead a conference and block shots in, and he probably missed, I think, 7 or 8 games with a back injury at the end. And Shad is he runs the floor like a deer. He'll run through people, jump over people, and I'm surprised Coach Haynes hasn't tried to steal him for football yet. He might have another year of eligibility, but he's been a true blessing to us, and those are 2 of our key returners along with Chris and we call him Dude, Omazion Tinsley. So we're excited about the guys that we have back, but we got some new ones coming in too that are going to be instant impacts.
A couple guys coming back that bring a lot of energy, Montravius White and Zion McDuffie. They really bring the energy when they enter the game.
Yeah. Montravius White was all freshman team, and we brought in some, Zion was a freshman that was pretty successful last year when he got his opportunities. He's been out with a little hamstring injury right now, but both of those guys, Montrevious took over a couple games. We have a play called side hook, and we called it like 3-4 times in a row with him and Big Justin or Shad, and he can lob it up there if they play the right. He just does a great job of reading the coverages, just like you would in football, no pun intended. But he does a great job with that, and he's been a huge impact. Won 3 state championships at Gray Academy, and got a ring with us last year. So we're pretty excited about his progress as well. And he shoots the 3 probably 37%. We want to get him up to close to 40, but he's been impressive.
Chris, you're back for your senior season. Different approach to your senior year than before?
Not too much different. Same mindset as not too much different. Same mindset as last year. Just trying to stay focused and get back to where we was last year. Trying to get to that 3-peat role. Just being more of a leader, being more vocal, and trying to take a little less load off the coaches and put it into our players.
Now, you're pretty accurate there from three-point range. Hit some big three-point shots last year. Teams are going to be focused on that. What are you adding to your game to counter that defensive pressure when they come out to take away the 3?
Yeah, I'm trying to get off the dribble, shoot inside the three-point line a little bit. Sometimes even be out there as a decoy and set other players up and get their shots off. And I think coaches do a good job of calling plays and trying to get me open. But if not, then my teammates can do a good job of getting their shots off.
Now, I want to talk to you about one shot in particular, that conference tournament championship game. Your team's making that big comeback down the stretch. You're down by 1 point. Your team calls a timeout. To that point, your team's 2 for 21 from three-point range at that point. And coach dials up the three-pointer, and you come off the screen and just bury it. What was the feeling like when you hit that shot?
It was great, just being able to hit that shot, practice it millions of times in the gym. Coach called up a good play that got me open, and he put trust in me that I can hit the shot, even being 2 for whatever we was from the field.
Thanks, Ken, for reminding us about how we should.
But hey, you stick with it.
That's right.
You
That's
figure one's going to go in. And
Yeah.
You always talk shooters just keep shooting.
Yeah, they don't remember what happened on the last play. You got to shoot the next one.
And Chris, as we ask everybody, what are you majoring in, and what are your future plans?
I'm a business management major. Plans to keep playing professional basketball if that's what God lets me to do, and if not, then trying to get into banking, and try to get to banking and further my career in that, and if just trying to be a basketball referee or training kids, put my knowledge into the youth.
All right, best of luck to that. Coach, best of luck. I know
Thanks
it's going to
so
be
much.
another tough South Atlantic Conference season.
We'll be ready. Thank you.
All right, let's get Coach Haynes back up here to talk about this week's homecoming game against Newberry. And by the way, if you listen to the broadcast on Memories Radio, Coach Perrin is my analyst for the games when his schedule allows. He does a great job. He talked about seeing defenses and reading coverages. He's on top of everything in the booth there. If this coaching thing doesn't work out for him, he can be a broadcaster, but he's doing pretty well at this coaching gig. So Coach Haynes, another big game coming up this week against Newberry, and even though don't let you get fooled, they put 50 points on the board at Tusculum. They had a tough couple weeks, only 12 combined against Mars Hill and LR, but they're probably the 2 best defenses in the league. But Newberry, year in and year out, they've got a quality team.
Yeah, Newberry is still Newberry. They've got athletes all over. They play really hard. I think they're really well coached. They've had the injury bug a little bit, similar to us, so we don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for them. And they've played 3 quarterbacks, but at the end of the day, they want to line up and run the ball at you and stop the run. So it's going to be a very physical, fast game. So everybody that's going to be in attendance, you're going to see 2 football teams that are going to be playing really, really hard, and it's going to be war in the trenches.
Now you talk about their injuries and does that cause you any problems or your coaching staff trying to figure out which quarterback to prepare for? You have to prepare for a lot of different things that way.
Yeah, I think we focus more on us, and I know I've said that multiple times in the show. We focus more on how can we improve what we're doing schematically, fundamentally, coaching, all those things. We focus more on us. On them, you got to be prepared for everything, and I think it doesn't really matter who's at quarterback. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. They want to line up and run the ball at you, so that's what we've got to do. We've got to stop them up front.
And then defensively, they're going to line up to try to stop your running game with all that success you're having there. What are you going to do to counteract that?
Yeah. Well, Hunter Shepard, again, for everybody that saw him step on the field for the first time after the injury at Carson Newman to Preston Brown. The steps he has taken these first 2 weeks, he went out there and threw over 200 yards and throwing touchdown passes. So if they want to take away the run, we trust Hunter. He's a young quarterback, but he is growing exponentially, and we've got a lot of weapons around him, so we will give him the ball and have him go win the game for us.
And, of course, same with Coach Perrin in basketball. They try to take away your top performer. They'll try to take L.J. Turner away, but you'll have some tricks on the offensive line. You bringing in Jalen Davis, the second tight end. You got 2 tight ends on one side. You load the box one way. You're doing things to make sure he has some success in the running game as well.
Yeah. Again, credit to our staff. We have the number 2 offense in the conference. I think we're top 20 in the country in most offenses, and that's, again, with a backup quarterback and Bo Pryor, the most explosive player on the field for us, out. So we have come up with creative ways to distribute the ball. The defense can't focus on specific guys because they're not out there. So it allows these other guys to step up, next man up, and we're doing well thus far. Newberry will be a challenge. They are the most aggressive up front for us. Those 2 offensive linemen just spoke. We trust those guys, and they're going to have their hands full, but we look forward to that.
By the way, Coach Dupree back there, I don't want to put any pressure on him. We've talked to Coach Collins, all 5 offensive linemen as the show's going on. We need some of those wide receivers to step up and have some big games so we can get them up here on the show next week. And, of course, they're making strides with those young guys in that group.
Oh, yeah, Coach Dupree does a great job. And like you said, Amari MacArthur, a North Rowan kid, transferred from that school over in Hickory back home to Rowan County, scored his first college touchdown last week. We've got a bunch of young talent on this team, and we look forward to continue to progress.
All right, another great show. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And, Coach, take us out like you usually do.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. 2024 homecoming. Look forward to seeing everybody Saturday night at Shuford Stadium. Cat U on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cat U. Thank you all.